Hello, it is me. I am now here with a unscripted video for once, which means it will also be decent, I think, because I'm not good at writing scripts. Today we will be looking at this article that has been written about Tinyism. There have been several articles written about Tinyism, surprisingly. Um, I couldn't find any other right now. I know there are several, but this is the only one I could find right now. I looked before the video, but I couldn't find them again. I could look in my emails. I've been emailed some. Um, by the way, if you have Tinyism content, email them at this email address that I put right there. Um, so now we will be looking at this article, which is it has been written by a big person, I believe. Yeah, 13K followers, very epic. Um, yes, very epic. Yeah, we will be looking at what they have written. First of all, this. I mean, I've already read it, but we will be reading it again. We will be looking at it again a bit. So first of all, this map is horrible. I don't from what I've read, I haven't read all of it. That is not actually what he wants, what he proposes, but this is a horrible map. I no, thank you. Yeah, no. Especially like in the California Cascadia region, it makes absolutely no sense. So aren't the Rocky? I think that's me being dumb. Aren't the Rocky Mountains here? No, that's Appalachia. I'm not an American. Yeah, but those are. Why is West Virginia in the South? Nothing makes any sense. Fucking Yankee them. Those. Yeah, no. This is a horrible image, horrible map. But that's also not what it's advocating for, if I have read it correctly. So, have you been keeping up? Have you been following the situation of Ethiopia? Of course you haven't. Yes, I have actually. So basically, it goes on. The colonialists left Africa in a terrible state. Yeah, except Ethiopia was never colonized, except by the Italians in World War II, but that doesn't really count. And especially, they haven't changed any borders. In which various tribes were smashed together into single nation. Again, yeah, like that. Italy in the Second World War didn't change any of the borders of Ethiopia. Therefore, this doesn't apply to Ethiopia. Neither does colonialism. Again, Italy doesn't really count. This was, if you want to count Italy as colonialization, then you need to count Germany's occupation of all of Europe as big Germany or something. I guess some people do, but come on. Ethiopia is one of those latter places. While sort of to grab me. No. Oh, I think actually this is new. It was kind of sort of colonized by Italy, which is why it still has. It's not that complicated, no. I mean, home to 5 official languages. Yeah, okay. So I've actually written a critique on this guy's article. Apparently he updated it. Wait, did he? Not really. Maybe I misread this, or he added later. About the 5 official languages. But yeah, it goes off. Eritrea's independence from Ethiopia came at a high price. It lists the wrong the wrong war. Also Wikipedia as a source. I mean, I guess it's not supposed to be a source. It's more like a read further. But yeah, it's the wrong fucking war. This is the correct war. The number seems to be accurate, however. It's about 250,000 that have died in the war. Essentially, 2 tribes in Ethiopia. Completely wrong. That's you said 5 languages at the top. I also think that's 5 official languages. Okay, but there's definitely way more than 2 tribes in Ethiopia. Tigray in the north, Amoro in the south. They are trying to destroy each other. That's not true. That's not what I. Yeah, it's a fucking duck go. Like he hasn't even bothered to fucking make like link a specific article or like a specific source. You just DuckDuckGo search results. This is horrible. No, they are not trying to destroy each other. If we look at the Tigray war, we can see that the Tigray and the Omoro are allied against the federal government. They are allied, which is... How do you get that wrong? Like, I mean, he even got the wrong Wikipedia page, so apparently he's not very good with looking up facts. But come on, man, come on. They're not trying to destroy each other. We can argue there's been a lot of war crimes and stuff that went on between the Tigrayans and the Ethiopian federal government, mostly from the federal government side, surprisingly. But yeah, no, they're not trying to destroy each other. The Tigrayans are an ancient Spartan-style warrior tribe. I don't think that's true. It might be though. I'm not that informed on like actually the ethnic, cultural history of the Tigrayans. I should be, but I'm not. So desperate for self-rule that they've started killing Ethiopian citizens. Well, if you want to put it like that, the Ethiopian government is also killing Ethiopian citizens. The Tigrayans are also Ethiopian citizens. Yes, they were the aggressors, if I remember correctly. But okay, no, I'm not willing to defend the Tigrayans there. That was a sketchy fucking move from them. They rebelled because they were unelected. No, but the right to self-rule is completely valid. But the actual like original reason for going to war is not. Things have gotten so bad. Has ordered military to protect the capital from falling, sending in Turkish combat drones. Ah, the good old Turkish combat drones, you know. You know what the Turkish do. Same thing with Artsakh. You know what happened in 2020, where Artsakh got fucking destroyed by Israeli and Turkish drones. You know, another self-ruling project, crushed by colonial powers, by colonial imperialist powers, for pan-Turkish fucking relations by ultra-nationalists. Not epic. Not epic. They still exist, luckily, but they've been greatly reduced in size. To be fair, the lands that they held were conquered originally, but I'm very much a proponent of preserving the status quo instead of settling or resettling peoples. I don't think that something like deportation is moral ever, and you know, it shouldn't have happened in the first place. But they should have also just gotten independence in the first place. But I'm on the side of Artsakh. I'm also on the side of the Tigrayans. They're not that bad. You may wonder if Ethiopia is better in 2, 10, or even smaller. Yes, it is. Of course. Of course it is. So, same all over the world. Yes, Spain, Canada. Fuck France. I don't like France. I don't like French people. Just kidding. Am I? Eastern nation cannot be named. Yeah, okay, apparently this website is censoring the word China, which is interesting. The United Kingdom is a laughable misnomer. The Welsh hate the English. I don't think that's as true as with the Scottish. But yeah, I do think so. The Scottish hate the English, obviously. The Cornish don't actually exist anymore. They've been killed off by the English through, again, colonialism. I guess they kind of still exist. There's like, I don't know, 10 people or something that still speak the Cornish language. It's a bit more, but you know. And like, I don't know, like 3 ethnic Cornish people. But they're basically dead, which is very sad. You know, it could have been prevented. Half of Northern Ireland just calls themselves Irish. Yeah, Northern Ireland is bad. Not a good topic to get into. The United Kingdom contains at least 5 countries. They contain 3 countries and one province officially. You can say they contain multiple nations, but they don't control multiple countries, because country is a administrative unit, a polity, not a interchangeable word for nation. They're essentially colonies of the City of London Corporation. This is the most fucking conspiratorial shit. Again, links Wikipedia. Wikipedia immediately disproves them. Is the governing body of the historic centre of London. It's just the government of the City of London, mind you, which is not the same as London. It's just this small part of London, which isn't really part of London, but kind of a complicated thing. Yeah, but none of the government buildings are there. None of the government is there. It has nothing to do with the overarching London or UK or even England government. It has nothing to do with anything. There are more than 5,000 indigenous nations all across the globe, totaling nearly 500 million people. I mean, that I don't know what they count as indigenous nations. Again, completely unrelated. Like, okay, I don't think it's 500 million. They've been killed off mostly, but yeah, indigenous people, should be free, obviously. Especially in settler colonial states like the United States and Australia and stuff, and Canada, where they're like still being genocided to this day. The gig is up. Young people are waking up to the oldest folks, especially those who know it. Yeah, nations are legal fiction. That's true. No, not nations. States. Nations and states are two different things. Keep that in mind. It's very important when talking about separatism. States are legal fiction. That is true. States are a made-up concept. They didn't exist for a long time, and some people want them to not exist again. I am in favor of states personally, but I can see why people are against them. I am kind of with the anarchists on this one. Not again. I do want states, but I very much do understand why you would not want them. But yeah, they are legal fiction. Especially the current ones, which are, if you look at Africa, for example, it's just random lines drawn in the sand by Europeans 1,000 kilometers away. People are rightfully starting to question the value of nation states as they are currently arranged. Exactly, as they are currently arranged. Questioning the state itself is valid, but not me. Not me. To preserve a unique culture, to express a political ideology, to propagate a religion, to organize an economy. Look, all of these things can be achieved way better under Tinyism. What is a culture? I'll be making a video about this one. What is a culture? Is there such a thing as American culture? As French culture? As a Russian culture? I don't think so. There are local cultures, especially when nations are disconnected, like Russia. Cultures are local. Political ideology, yeah, sure, If you want a different economic system or something, try it out. Maybe it works, maybe it fails. Propagate a religion, I'm very big on religious freedom. I don't think religion should play any role in government, but I can see people believing differently, and I would tend to accept it as long as it doesn't affect me. At the end of the day, I believe that every nation is an experiment on what it means to live well. Currently, almost every nation on Earth is on a downward trajectory, if not failing miserably. I think that's a bit mean. But yeah, kind of, not really, kind of. But it's not necessarily just the fault of big countries. There's other factors that play into it, which others on this channel and this community might disagree with. Capitalism. The bureaucracy that takes to run over 300 million person nation. Yeah, it's it's hard to represent get real representation on that on such a big scale. Obviously, yeah. A way to solve that would be the direct democracy. Not actually, it wouldn't be a way to solve that, because direct democracy with extreme diversity also means extreme diversity in interests, in opinions, which then also it just leads to unrepresentative democracy. Then, like what we have right now, what the great states have inherently, and what especially countries like undemocratic countries like dictatorships or the United States and stuff also have. There are many disparate opinions and disagreements become working fails. One party dominates. Well, I mean, predicting the rise of fascism, or at least like one party systems, is a valid concern under some democratic systems, some quote-unquote democratic systems. A nuclear age where going to war will destroy everyone and everything. There's no longer need to defend your borders. Yeah, no. It depends on what you mean by defending your borders. You should still, in my opinion, you should still kind of like enforce your borders. Like what we're seeing with Poland and Belarus right now is, of course, that's a big case of border security, which like I'm very sorry for the people there. Like seriously, it's just Belarus being cringe, basically, and not epic. Also, they cite Hank Priesler, which is a guy that is an advocate of Tinyism. He wrote articles also. I think this is what I've been looking at. He had a website. He changes his website, his theme every other day, which is very sad. Here's Geotinyism. Yeah, that's like his adaptation where he wants Georgism and Tinyism. Georgism is decent, but not good. I don't like it that much. Should California, Scotland, Catalonia, Kurdistan, and other regions see? Yeah, based. Yeah, he's basically, he looks like Hamster. He's basically promoting Tinyism a lot. Or he used to, at least. I don't think he does anymore. I mean, he still does, but not to a big degree. I like the way he's going. Just Also, please stop using that photo. If you're seeing this video, please stop using this photo. Here's a good quote. Tinyism is a political philosophy that believes that the current empires and nations should be fractured, shattered, and dissolved into thousands of independent microstates and city-states. This act has vastly improved democracy and enhanced economies. Recent statistics indicate that small nations are usually the happiest, wealthiest, and most peaceful. This is actually... They actually have sources. Like it's like an actual... It's not like Wikipedia or something. It's like an actual source. Oh no, that's world population, but still. Here's my prediction. Within 100 years, there will be at least 100 new nations on this planet. That's very optimistic. I like optimism to see. I like to see optimism. I'm not sure we're looking towards a brighter future, but we can hope, I guess. But there can't be plenty more. Yeah, there's every people should have their own countries. Very true. Plus the publicly listed corporations. That's where you get into more suspicious territory, as they say. Corpocracies, I think they're called. Not very based, not very epic. Yeah. Why shouldn't ethnic groups have the right to self-determination, especially the hundreds who've had their sovereignty stolen? Isn't it inherently racist for one culture to impose their will on another ethnic group? Yes. Based. he does have some good points. Majorly, I'm mostly concerned with the top section, which is oof, no, no. um, any major disruptive event, uh, yes, but this is like basically advocating for an apocalypse, for accelerationism almost. Um, which I mean, yeah, that would bring about Tinyism most likely, um, but I don't, I don't know if that's a good way to do it. And that would be, I mean, yeah, the result would be a good thing, but the apocalypse not really. The geopolitical result, not everything else. The climate and shit would be fucked. Um, in defense of Tiny, the smaller the population, the smaller the bureaucracy. Yes. When you have small population, you can have more representation in democracy. Yes. First of all, direct democracy can work best, or even only work, um, in a small with a small population, because you know local interests, local whatnot, and also like you know if you look at Rojava for example, Rojava is an excellent um, is an excellent example of, well, I mean anarchism to a degree, but also just like local governance and confederalism and direct democracy, which you know is basically anarchism, but yeah. um, you know, democratic confederalism is something very epic. You should look into it. I'll link a video up here in the corner, which is very educational, very interesting, very epic. Um, yeah, Rojava does that well with, you know, they have their communes, which obviously have a small population, and you know every other day you just go into the town hall and vote with your boys. That is you know that is a very good model. When you have a smaller population, you can avoid getting pushed around by groups that don't share your values. Exactly, that applies to culture, but also politics and religion, I guess, kind of. Again, I don't. I'm not that fan of dividing on religion at all, but yeah, it works for everything basically. When you have smaller populations, you can better preserve unique culture, races, religions, economic system, histories, societal structures, and experiments in what it means to live well. I wouldn't use the word races. I am very much against that. What does this button do? I wouldn't use the word races. I wouldn't use the word races. It's very regressive. That's not something we should use anymore. There's no such thing as human races. There's one human race. There are different skin colors, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, but there are no scientific. There's no scientific concept of races anymore. I don't like that word. Um, but yeah, but this is basically it. You can preserve preservation, which is like essentially localism. What it is or what it comes from is um, then is conservatism originally. You know, you don't have to be conservative to be localist to be tiniest. You shouldn't be. In fact, I believe, um, but that is like a place of preservation is in the end where localism does come from, and therefore also tinyism. And I do also believe that preserving unique cultures, histories, societal structures, economic systems, whatnot, is very important. Um, you know, not always, but most of the time, and most importantly for marginalized groups. So, say natives and you know people whose cultures are a threat. Uh, Languages also. I didn't. It doesn't say languages here, but language is also very important. Um, you know, to preserve what exists, to preserve diversity. When you have a smaller population, you can have fewer rules, fewer laws, and more freedom. That is, it depends on how small you're willing to go, because obviously, like, if there's like you know, if you know everyone in the neighborhood, you go to the supermarket, you know everyone there. You go to the plaza, you go to the park, you know everyone. Obviously, like, yeah, it's less likely that someone then will like commit crime against a friend and stuff, and you will know who was it. But I do think that's a bit too local, perhaps. Not necessarily, but it could be. Um, so I do think laws and rules as they exist right now would continue to exist. Um, but more freedom, I guess, if you have the same laws and rules, obviously not exactly the same, but I do think more freedom would be a component of it, inherently, due to national freedom and democracy, national freedom and democracy, because democracy would most likely prevail in a good tiniest world or nation, due to the localism and stuff. Which would also, democracy equals freedom. I would personally say, the more democracy one has, the more freedom one has. Not inherently, but most of the time. Libertarians will disagree. What about national defense? It's a legitimate fear, but it's worth noting that small nations are some of the safest nations. It's If we look at national defense, I don't think is a concern. We don't. Yeah, if you look at the small nations, they have either no military, like Liechtenstein or Iceland. I mean, Iceland isn't necessarily small, but they have no military, or Costa Rica. Or they have like only a ceremonial military, like San Marino and Andorra, for example. Because, like, I mean, in their cases, it's we're surrounded by empires, basically. If they want to fuck us, they are going to fuck us, no matter what we do. We can't put up resistance. That's basically the logic right now. But if everyone's small, everyone is, it puts everyone on a more equal playing ground, which could cause problems to national defense. Because it's more equal again, so it's not like the mentality of we're fucked if they attack us. So like everyone actually would have a chance. But I do think that national defense, that like military and stuff, would be lower, like we see it in current nations. Perhaps for different reasons, but I do think it would be the case. And also like just spending, because like you can't spend half of your GDP on military, especially when you have a very small one. New sovereignties will form an alliance of hundreds of other city-states. Yes, the alliances, the confederations, very important. We'll be good at defense, hopefully, but most importantly, stronger together. That contradictory, but if you go regional, you have something like NATO or the EU, but less imperialist on a local level and a regional level. You'd have like the Holy Roman Empire. You'd have like a German Union or something, with or more like regional, like a Bavarian Union or something, with like hundreds of small states that then cooperate on regional issues. Anarchist confederations again, parallels. Yeah, but this is confederations good. The return of the city-state. The world is urbanizing, and power is occurring in cities. Already in America, we're seeing mayors defy state and national mandates in order to protect and defend their citizens. It was like with mask mandates in the US, right? That mayors were protesting. It's, yeah, mayors do have a lot of power as it stands currently. City-states, not as much as they should, but they also shouldn't have to be in a federation. Or worse yet, a unitary state. I mean, in the end, every state is a federation of cities, unless it's a city-state, but those don't really exist except um, Monaco, Singapore, and the Vatican. I'm excited for all this to happen. Some most beautiful places are still enough. Tiny little cities, historical urban centers, not so beautiful. Vatican City. I don't. I mean, first of all, why is he using acres? No one's using acres. Come on. Also, here he's showing that he knows that the city of London is an independent thing, an independent entity of normal London. So I'm confused. Wait, no. Was. Wait, this is past tense? Maybe I should actually read it. Um, Started out as tiny little cities, but their historic urban cores are still beautiful. Ah, okay. The Vatican City, yeah, it says is. I guess I don't actually know acres. I do metric, but I don't do acres, so I can't actually judge how big that is. I think that's one step up from uh, square meters. I think, or square kilometers. I think it's one step up from square meters. One of the most gorgeous sights on Earth. Again, with the fucking DuckDuckGo, can you not like link to a specific image or something? I don't know. Nearly half all Americans want to secede from the Union, one direction or another. Uh, mm, uh, mm, uh, that's not assault, right? It's just about politics. I mean, I haven't read it. Maybe it is actually about separatism, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Yeah, I don't think it is. There's plenty within their rights as human beings. Oh, and that is perfectly within their rights as human beings. Yes, everyone has the right to self-determination, as put in the human rights. Yeah. Others protest that we must preserve the union at all costs, but what are they trying to preserve? Our lack of shared values, a sham of a democracy, McDonald's, apple pie. Of course, this is like satirical. But yeah, I do actually not see any reason to preserve any kind of federation or unitary state for that matter. Um, Except like very small ones. I can see like a very like Liechtenstein. It has municipalities. It's not a federation, but it still has a subdivision. But that's not something that should be fractured, I don't think. Although, fun fact, legally, Liechtenstein can split up. Every municipality can vote for independence, which is a law that every country should have. This here then goes on about the US specifically. The, no fucking thank you. Yeah, and it goes on about ethno states, I don't know. Uh, huh? I mean, I do actually think there's Hispanic majorities in the south, um, west of Texas, but I don't think that's enough by far for Hispanic minority state. Also, it goes about immigration and stuff. It's what's compelling about Tinyism is that the more elements we run, the more we'll discover that what works and what doesn't. Clearly, Sweden is better than North Korea, but is the Texan way better than the Californian way? With Tinyism, we'll know political quickly. In that sense, Tinyism is almost a free market. The political mark. Oh, as the political market of ideologies. Yes. This is debatable. I personally would say Sweden is way better than North Korea, but you know there are people that disagree. And I mean, North Korea is a somewhat stable country, and if you do think that you want to live in a North Korean-like system, again, you should be allowed to choose that for yourself. Yeah, and this is, you know, experimentation. We need to experimentate. Experiment. No, it's unconstitutional. Yeah, fuck your constitution. Have you noticed that society is fracturing? Yeah. A day will come when the USA falls apart. Again, this is very America-centric. Yes, the USA will have to fall apart, definitely. And I don't think it's that far away. Let's stop individualism. Now it goes against individualism, which is, I haven't read this section. I don't think it's relevant. I do actually think it's like anti-capitalist, anti-individualist at the very least. I'm not sure. But yeah, cheering for a 20 nation America. Way too few. Way too few. Cheer for more. The European nation Patagon is not good. A 20 nation American one would be the same as the European, which means not good. Better than what it is right now, but still shit. Okay, this guy is anti-capitalist, I think. Anarcho-capitalism bottom text. Yeah, I think that's all the important stuff. It's written not as well. To conclude, it's not written that well. I don't think. Oh, Nancy's solution. It's just linking the article. Yeah. Does it have my map? I don't think I made a map. I didn't make a map. But here's a another article from Hank Priesler, who Hank Priesler and Jonah F 2014. Yes, F 2014 is my last name. And that is me, by the way. I'm Jonah F 2014. I run this channel. But yeah, this is like, I have minorly helped him, not really. His proposal is decent-ish, but not good. But better than what we have right now. But the geopolitical situation in Israel and the Levant is very complicated. I don't think that simply Tinyism is going to fix it. There does need to be more. It's not a sole answer. It's not that simple. Tinyism is never just a sole answer. It is. Well, no, I don't think it is. Yeah. Also, what I need to mention, I don't think I have yet. Most people use Tinyism spelled like this instead of how I spell it, being T-Y-I-ism, Tinism. They spell like this, which is fine, I guess. I don't like it that much, but if it gets more popular, it gets more popular. I don't care that much. It's fine. Yeah, but in conclusion, this article, majorly lacking in facts, but some good theory, some good arguments, written a bit weirdly, has some suspicious aspects to it, and yeah, acceptable article. I obviously linked it in the description. Go have a look yourself. And that's it. I've looked through the article. Bye.